Spiritually Inspired is a sacred space for all people to explore issues of shared concern. Listen to consciously aligned guests and search for spiritual inspiration. Podcast hosts Renee Siri and Jayson Barniski, yoga teachers and authors, explore and find inspiration on the path to enlightenment.
Hi, welcome to our podcast, Spiritually Inspired. This is Renee Siri.
And this is Jayson Barniski. So today we're interviewing the producer of the Conscious Life Expo, Robert Quicksilver. Thanks for being with us, Robert.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I've been to the Conscious Life Expo several times myself, and I've had some amazing experiences there. I actually met one of my meditation gurus from India there. So I'm so excited that we were put into contact with you.
Yes, I'm so excited and so looking forward to attend this expo. I think it is one of the biggest spiritual expo around here in California. But first and foremost, we have some questions for you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, how did you get to be a producer of the Conscious Life Expo?
After the 9/11 tragedy, the whole Life Expos stopped doing expos, and there was in the market in the community of individuals who are benefited by these types of expos. There was kind of like a vacuum, or anyway. So at that time and at that point, I had some friends, and we decided to pick up that trail and did our first Conscious Life Expo in February of 2003, and have done it each year now, fortunately, and it lasts 15 years, I guess, 16, something like that, and it's amazing. It's great, and that's how it happened. It just happened because I used to exhibit at the whole Life Expos and so I was familiar with the marketplace and the industry and the community of individuals that would go from do shows, and the attendees would come and see all the different kinds of things and talk to the different speakers. So I was familiar with that. So when the opportunity showed up to start this little business, it just kind of not fell in my lap because it was a lot of work. But it just seized that opportunity to do that.
What is the mission behind the Conscious Life Expo? What is, as the organizers and producers, what's your whole mission behind bringing this festival to the public and creating such an amazing gathering of high vibration individuals? I think the answer is kind of embedded inside the experience. So the mission, so even what you described as your experience being there, so that's the mission, the community and the knowledge, information, and and teachings and community and friendship and community a lot. It's a whole community, and so I think that's what is the drive here, is the force that is propelling the evolution. And I personally had skills in management at a production company and was involved in all of this stuff all my life. And like I said, I used to exhibit at the whole Life Expos. And so I just took it to the place that I took it to kind of get. And really it's more just being a vehicle for this process. What did you used to exhibit, or what'd you do at the Whole Life Expo when you went?
Yeah. So I used to make, this is a long time ago, I used to make glass pyramids. I had a company, Magic Glass, like that. And I had when I was in my 20s, I somehow started to learn to cut glass and not only in a glass shop, but just to make things with. And so I started making little glass pyramids, like the Cheops type pyramid. And and that evolved into kind of a production company making glass things, whatever. And that's what I did.
It's so funny and synchronistic because I think about 10 years later in 2013 at the Conscious Life Expo was the first time that I ever came across like an orgonite pyramid. And so it's really interesting to see the evolution from what you were doing to like what's going on now today.
Yeah, very exciting to see all the young people or old people bringing their art and their passion into the expo. It's really exciting, and I just walk up and down the aisles and I just like, it's great seeing all that, not happy or unhappy, but engaged and interesting people selling interesting things and talking about interesting subjects. And that's just in the exhibit hall. And then the speaker program, it's amazing, really, all these world-class speakers. For example, this year particularly, they're inside the expo, the program, Programa Hispano. Now, I'm not Spanish, but it's a whole program in Spanish in the rooms at the expo. And this year, we're bringing someone in from Spain named Enrique Cabrera, who we never heard of, right? I never heard of, but it turns out he's like a world famous, not mystic, but metaphysical teacher in Spain, and I had no idea how many people from all over the place are coming to see this guy. It's amazing, and I had no idea, and so I think that's what it is. It's an opportunity for spirit to bring things together in this way. And so, I think we're all agents for that.
Yeah, we're excited. We're seeing like you would have 200 exhibitors and 150 speakers, 12 keynotes, and tons of panels, 19 panels. But we are really excited to see like Carolyn Mess, right? She's going to be there.
Yeah, there's so many. David Wilcock, I'm really excited to see. I'm a huge fan of Maureen St. Germain. I read her book this year about awakening to the fifth dimension. Is there anyone that you're personally excited to see?
My personal favorite is Daniel Brinkley. He's not the most famous person in the world, but he over the years, he just comes, I invite him every year and I don't know, he's just, look him up. he had death experiences where he went on to the other side and then came back. After that happened twice. And so that's his story, that was his opening and what it looked like on the other side. But what it gave him, and I think what the whole path gives us, it gave him like a freedom when he saw that there was no, the positive after death experience that everybody has. It just, and then it just kind of freed him up, and that's what he talks about, and able to love, and like that. So it really opened his heart and mind, and you can see that. Anyway, he's just someone I don't know. You asked me who my favorite person was.
Yeah, we were really excited to see him too. There's 3 days of the expo. So it's 9 to 11th of February 2018. And it's in LAX.
At the Hilton.
At the Hilton, LAX. So,
and I think something too that's like totally has to be said about this vast array of exhibitors and speakers is that there's really something for everybody. If somebody's really into meditation, there's people. If somebody's really into sacred geometry, if somebody's really into ancient aliens, there's even an ancient aliens panel. So again, like I have such a close place in my heart because I met my guru at the Conscious Life Expo, and it was an amazing experience. I met him, and it was a mystical experience. Like I wrote my name down on this list of names that was about 200 people long. And I wasn't totally awakened at that moment. And he's like, well, maybe sometime when you're ready, it'll happen. And 2 years later, I went through this incredible life transformation. And I decided to leave the corporate world and open a yoga studio. And 3 days before the grand opening for the yoga studio, I got a call from Yogi Shivraj. And he said, now it's time. And I've been waiting for you. So it was like, whoa, blown away by the Conscious Expo, and it's such a high vibrational place. I was like so excited to kind of help share this with our listeners and to encourage people to attend. I'm stoked to go this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. But what I said earlier is about community. So it's through the course of the normal day, whoever we hanging out with and seeing at the stores that we shop in is great. But being around a community of like-minded people in a kind of I am kind of not intimate, but like intense way over the weekend, because it gets very crowded, and but like there were lines, you could see some of the famous speakers there, and so it's really I think of it as if each person there is like a block in the pyramid. I'm making this up. I know. So I'm just making this up right now. So we each little blocks, and then the whole expo is like a big pyramid, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a good metaphor. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you have any spiritual practices or background that you were in before you started this expo?
I studied Asian philosophy and went to graduate school in Asian studies, and studied a lot of Buddhism and Hinduism. But to say that I'm Buddhist or Hindu, that wouldn't be accurate either. I think it's a universal path, and all the religions point to that. So I think that's what I've come to understand is a synthesis of religious path, and that each of us draw from our DNA or from our personal story or from what we learn and grow up and find, and this is who we become. If we want to, if we're open, and that's our, we want to kind of have this discovery of spirit. That's what it takes.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you into any meditative practices, or do you have any daily spiritual practices that you do now that you're really into?
I listen to Pema Chodron. She is. She's a Tibetan, but I listen when I'm driving in the car, and she tells this story. And so this is why I was saying that the teacher. She asked the teacher, about those questions. What's your practice? And that's what she talks about, because she's a Tibetan nun. And what I've come away with after listening to it is the practice is attentiveness. That. I don't think it's like a meditate. I don't think of it meditation. We kind of get absorbed and you go into kind of subconscious states. That's not what I don't think of it that way. Where say the monks can go off and be wherever. I don't think of it that way. Here we are in the world, so it's not just sitting in the monastery. I just kind of separate that. But I think it's the same consciousness that the monk is having, or the practitioner is developing, which is attentiveness to the state of mind, and that's what is watching the river of mind flow. And so if you do that just sitting still, all right, But I think the teaching in the world now is that we have to do that while we're having activity and mind activity in the world, and
yeah. So just basically be present with every moment in daily life.
Exactly.
That reminds me of this wonderful.
Exactly.
It reminds me of a wonderful interview that I saw with Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now.
Yeah.
And Eckhart Tolle was sitting on the stage, and somebody from the crowd asked him, "What's your spiritual practice?" And he said, "Believe it or not, I don't have one, because my practice is being in the present moment, in the here and now." And so always being in the now is exactly the practice.
Yeah.
I have a curious question I've been thinking about a lot. Just because I've been diving in so much into some of the issues that society's facing from social media, and how social media and the creators of social media in the process of creating Facebook, some of the designers used the brain and understanding of psychology to really target some of the dopamine release and some of the chemicals in our brain as they created social media. So I'm curious, and this is maybe a strange line of questioning to go down, but you've been around and been in the Conscious Life Expo for so long that you've been there since before there was social media, and now you're using social media to market and to advertise. So have you seen any difference in the people that have come in? And maybe you could even touch on how to use social media kind of correctly and with consciousness. If you had to pick one thing from all your years of doing the Conscious Life Expo, if you had to pick one biggest takeaway from producing the expo, what would it be?
Well, what comes to mind right now when you say that is when I started, it was, it was like me and a couple of people, whatever. And now I have a family of people that I work with, a community of people like Donna, who my PR person we mentioned earlier, or maybe 10 or 12 individuals that so that's what happened, is that I found a family. So that's, and, not that I go to anyone's birth, it's not like that. We're all kind of old people already, but there's just a community and individuals doing the same work. And and I trust them and they trust me, and and we kind of work it out, and it just becomes the process, when we, cause it's not like there's never conflict. We argue and fuss over stuff, and, and then it's like a family. We just kind of work it out.
Could you please tell our listeners of how can they find tickets and or if they can watch any speakers on live stream, and what's the date, all the details and website address?
Okay, well, here's what you mentioned, live stream, so I'm going to mention it. So the one thing that I've kind of come to late now, but I really have understand, is that the expo can only what we is constructed there in Los Angeles. The exhibitors, people, and and mostly the people are from California and Los Angeles. But with live stream, I'm appealing to the like-minded people creating this community, or the community is being created. It's a worldwide community. People in South Africa and China and who knows where, and Bolivia, are a lot of individuals having similar aspiration. And the live stream, we've started live streaming the event, and it's very, very exciting, and very exciting to be able to bring the expo to like-minded individuals all around the world. Very exciting opportunity to do that. And so I'm starting to advertise in magazines in Australia for live stream. So I just want to bring the expo to, like I said, starting with English language countries anyway, to places where people might be interested in these subjects.
When you guys have the live stream on there, what are you going to have on the live stream? Will it be speakers or the expo itself? Yes, all of that. So to get more specific with it, either it could be we can buy individual tickets to the individual events, or someone in wherever in New York or London could buy tickets to to a group of all the panels, for example, or a very popular speaker, David Wilcock. He has different combination tickets. So when people go onto the live stream web pages, there's different kind of combinations of tickets. It's not every single thing. We kind of highlight the major rooms, the keynote rooms and the panel rooms, to live stream what we think is the best, is that content. Anyway, I think that's I like it a lot, and I'm really pursuing that to develop an international audience for the exhibit. It's not the exhibitor content, see, it's really the speaker content. And I think I don't know. But YouTube, a lot of the stuff's on YouTube, so people can find it. But I want to deliver it in a package, so where people can feel like there's something, and then I'm just pulling a YouTube screenshot. That makes sense to me because it's almost like going to a workshop or more than just an expo or watching a single YouTube video, is that they can actually take away some serious wisdom that they can use in their daily life. And for anyone listening, the website where you can either find tickets or also find out about the live stream is at www.consciouslifeexpo.com, and you could find the link for the live stream and tickets and all that good stuff there. That's right, Robert? Yeah. And I'm curious because I've been going to lots of different festivals that are around and expos like this too lately that have been all over California, and I've seen they've just popped up out of the woodwork lately. And I saw a list where there's actually of about like 40 or 50 different expos, like Lightning in a Bottle, stuff like Burning Man, but then even smaller ones that are all around, like the Psy Tribe Festival. And I think that these type of gatherings are just amazing because you're putting like-minded people together. And when either people who do the work or people who are really seeking to go deeper in themselves get that opportunity, then being around other people, it really gives them that affirmation that they're on the right path and they can keep going forward. So I'm very grateful for what you're doing. Ronnie and I have talked about holding a festival, and I've heard other people that I know very close that are interested in starting other festivals. From the work you've done, if you could give one piece of advice to people who are thinking about creating expos or festivals or who are really trying to create these gatherings of high vibe people, could you maybe give them a little bit of advice?
So I would have to say that you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to kind of work your budgets because, I see people doing shows and I can't imagine how they could do that. And I see what the ticket sales look like, so there's not like any common sense to it. So first you have to kind of like really make how much is this going to cost? And, am I going to sell, 100 tickets? And I think that process of discovery is very important. Otherwise, I had a friend who did a show here near San Diego, and he lost, he wasn't watching the budget, and, he spent more than he took in. So I think that's the first piece of advice is get real, and get grounded with what you think is going to happen. So you got to kind of get grounded, learn Excel or something, I don't know, and a budget. And I think that's going to come first to see if it's going to square up with the physical reality. So that's the advice I would give someone who wanted to do something.
I love that advice. And my mom does like home and garden festivals and business showcases. And that's always what she says. And we went to a festival recently. I won't say the name of the festival, but it was very, the organization wasn't perfect. And I think that they gave away probably half of their tickets for free, and they definitely didn't make a profit. So that's huge is find out the budget and then like how much do you really want to make and be realistic about how you can continue to do this.
Yeah. Just apply like normal, like a business and not even in a fantasy about it. And being a fantasy is okay. I don't know. So anyway, like I said, I had all the years I was running that other company, so I come from this kind of I come from a production kind of environment where like you kind of watch all those kinds of things, and so anyway, so that's maybe why I'm not chosen, but why why I am enabled to do the expo, because I do watch those budgets and I do try to keep keep it organized.
Yeah, and I think like certain people are visionaries, and then certain people are the really grounded, like the manifestors. So if it's all visionaries, they're not going to be thinking about any of the practical stuff. But then also like the very practical people need the visionaries. So it's wonderful to kind of get people to all work together.
Yeah. One time, again, this is a little kind of like a little off the wall, but one time I had a past life reading, and the person said that one I had was working in this Ringling Brothers Circus as the administrator for whoever they were that were running Ringling Brothers themselves. Whoever was running that, I was kind of like the administrator and accounting type person. So and working for the circus. It kind of feels that way sometimes.
Well, that must have been some really good experience for what you're doing now, because I know there's some very interesting characters that are at the expo. Particularly in mind, I remember like Zarathustra and his like very high intensity energy healing. We were kind of like, whoa, when we saw this guy and some of the shamanic stuff. But it's really powerful and amazing, all the people that come together for these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people grow using, for example, Zarathustra. Over the years, when he came out as, as a healer, and that his healing is more powerful now than it was when he started. So I don't know but using Zarathustra, I just happen to know him. Actually, he's taken a group of people to Egypt and go into the pyramids in Egypt.
Remember when I was there the first time I actually went to the expo. No, maybe it was the second time. Because the first time I remember they were doing it, and there was a weightlifting thing and a jiu-jitsu tournament, all one in the Staples Center. It was a huge conglomerate of events going on. But the second time I went, I saw Zarathustra in the lobby, and then I ended up being in the elevator on the way with them on the way up to the room, and we had a really deep, far-out conversation, which was pretty awesome. And it's things like that happen at these expos. You actually get to meet these spiritual teachers one-on-one and kind of get to know them on a personal level.
That's really true, especially getting in the elevator, being in the elevator with I remember, yeah, exactly. That happens. I think I hear that story very often, that at the expo, because it's the big high-rise hotel kind of thing, and a lot of elevator stuff going on up and down, and I get that feedback often that attendee guests meet their favorite speakers or meet speakers in the elevators. They're just going to their rooms, and that's like the familiarity, like very compelling for people to be able to be around that.
And talk about what a wonderful opportunity for synchronicity really to happen.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's exactly right. So all this energy, if you think of all these energy fields all coming together at the same place at the same time, and there's a lot of synchronicities that happen, and I don't really keep track of it, but I get, I read letters or now a lot of email really, or that people, like you see your guru, that they become, and so I'm not trying to do it, but it's like, what? That sounds really so.
Yeah, and it's funny as you say, it's interesting as you say that, because I'm really not trying to sell anything at all ever on this podcast. But as you started saying that in the synchronicity, I started thinking about Yogi Shivraj, and it almost brought tears to my eyes, because going to that expo, like it changed my life. Like I met my guru there. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Wow. But you were going to meet your guru anywhere. So, cause that was your karma and your destiny. So, so you were he was going to find you wherever it was. And one more thing, actually. I say that. Again, remember did I mention I was I like to listen to Padma Chodron, and so she tells another story of like a monk who was asked by someone for like the meaning of life, and the monk said, "Oh no, I have to do with what I take with me, right? When I die, what do I take? What would I take with me?" And the answer was, and I think this really is very kind of speaks to is that the only thing you can take with you is your state of mind. I think as a mantra, as a focus for like paying attention. So that's it. Is that you just have to pay attention to a state of mind and not get hooked on negative things, and just keep paying attention, and little by little, just there's no, and I'm not sure that there's like a goal or something. I think it's just process. It's all just process, and all we can do is as humans is pay attention and put love into whatever,
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that takeaway. Our grand question for this podcast that we ask every guest is what keeps you inspired to do your inspiring work, even through tough time?
I'm like a Capricorn rising, and I just I get up in the morning, I just want to work. And I'm actually I'm like 70 years old person. You don't know that. You wouldn't guess that I know from my voice.
Oh, yeah. Well, we hope to meet you at the expo. And
Yeah. Come and find me. Definitely.
Yeah. But what keeps you like stay inspired and do this big expo work and bringing all these inspiring people together and do the work?
I think that I don't know. It may have been different in the past, but I would say that the opportunity to be in the middle of this and to hold this space. So I don't really, my work is like I hold a certain space, and then all these great people come into that space, and so the opportunity for me to hold this space. That I wake up in the morning and this gift of like being able to do this, hold this space for people to have these experiences. So it's like a gift that, not every day, I sleep through most of it anyway, but still it's like a gift. It's an opportunity that I have to do this work is just awesome, and really grateful to the universe for it. So that was true.
Yeah, well, thank you for holding that space, because as I'm thinking about it, it really has affected my life in an extremely meaningful way. And some people are influencers, some people are connectors, and I totally see that as holding this space, that what you're doing is being a connector.
Okay, all right. Okay, there you go. I'll take that. I'm okay with that.
But that's what makes the world go round, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Robert. And we're going to post this website. Anyone that listening to this podcast, the expo is going on February 9th through 11th. And the tickets, the live stream can be found on consciouslifeexpo.com. Thank you so much, Robert. I hope to see you at the expo.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Jayson. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you like the podcast, please comment in the box below and subscribe to our channel, whether it's Podbean or iTunes or Facebook. And also, we have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, 5D Minerals. Every single product they sell directly goes to helping us support our work doing this podcast. So please check them out at 5dminerals.com.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and let's stay inspired together.